when I met Craig and started to report the piece and talk to people and kind of look into the history of college admissions and how it's practiced today, the thing that kept coming back to me was this sense that the college market is a lot more inefficient and irrational than I thought it was. It worked great for me. Both my parents went to college. They both had graduate degrees. I applied to college. I got into a bunch of them. I went to one, graduated in 4 years, and that let me do this for a living, which is great. But what became more and more clear to me was that the process by which students make this match to colleges was invented a long time ago. It is, to this day, remarkably archaic. It's still driven largely by the exchange of pieces of paper or digital images of pieces of paper, which is basically the same thing. And it was built for, as so many things are in our higher education system, it was built to work for people of means, for people of privilege, for people who live in an environment that propels them toward higher education almost in an inexorable way. It was not built for and does not work very well for all the rest of the people who now very much need to go to college to secure their financial future. Basically, it's a system that if you're smart enough, or if you are probably in an environment that's smart enough and you have enough money, you can game it. And so we all read these kind of endless stories in the media about people who are, getting their kids into the right preschool and hiring $40,000 college admissions consultants and going to Princeton Review and test prep and all these things in order to wangle their way into an Ivy League college. Well, those are all signs of an inefficient matching system. You should not, in a better system, you shouldn't be able to work it that way. And it's because the process by which higher education was, and elite higher education specifically, but really all of higher education was opened up to people, I think is incomplete in many ways. And so there's sort of two stories that in the article that I tell about people who were engaged with the admissions process. One is a young man named Jamil Reed, who's actually right now a sophomore in Miami High School, who is struggling to figure out how to navigate the system with very little help. And the other actually is Craig's story. Craig is modest about this, but Craig came from a rural area in northwestern Missouri, and kind of ended up in Brown University through a kind of a series of improbable events. And part of what we talk about in the story is that an efficient system, a good system, a system that works on behalf of students doesn't rely on a series of improbable events to get people from northwestern Missouri to Brown University. That's a sign of a system that doesn't work, not a system that does. So I think that as the college admission system moves from a paper-based environment to an electronic environment, what will happen is the same thing that's happened in lots of other markets. The market for collectibles, the market for news, the market for dating. We all know these online dating services, Match.com. The market will become more open, it will become more efficient, and it will be harder to game. So I think that if you're planning on spending and wangling your kids' way into Harvard, I think that will be harder in the future, and I'm glad it will be.